live coming up in Dallas, Texas, and it's Speak in Style. Earlier, if you were with us, you heard Sandra D. Robinson, who is a charisma coach, speaker coach. She was with me earlier. We were talking about the upcoming event. And the other half of this amazing partnership is a style expert. Jane Vanermeer is the award-winning international personal style expert of 2023. Elevate your presence. She's a best-selling author. She's on the top 10 women to watch. She's a thought leader. She's a CEO. What don't you do, Jane?
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. It always makes me giggle a little bit. It is a great honor. Yes, I've just received that first one recently. So that's,
So you guys are going to get into style, presence, leadership at this live event in Texas, but you are the style fashion person. You know how to help people rock it, look good. Yep. Can you kind of tell what your specialty is in all this?
Yeah, absolutely. So my superpower really is helping women put themselves together. So whether that is when we're talking with this event, whether you're on stage is one-on-one with a client, whether you're in a board meeting and it's 6 people, or on stage and a bigger environment, either way you're a walking advertisement for your business. So we need to think about that. And I think too, it's about refining, hence my business name, finessing the entire walking advertisement that we are, so that we can
be the brand, right? You have to be the brand now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And whether that is online, I often talk about this screen being our shop window. If we had a bricks and mortar shop, this is our visual merchandising. When we're in person, this is our visual merchandising. So whether we own our own business, whether we work for someone else, it doesn't matter. It is all part of that branding, personal branding.
Well, and you guys, we're going to be talking about the identity crisis, which we're still going to do. So we don't want to spoil all that conversation, but there is an identity crisis for some women leaders that often hits them. And I asked Sandra this question. I'll ask you the same one. Is it often that they don't even know they're in an identity crisis, and then bang, one day they realize, oh my goodness, what's going on?
Yeah, I think it sneaks up. I think I work with females, so I see it more in that space, but it possibly works across male and female too, really. I describe it as it sneaks up. It's just a comment here, a little bit here, where it's either confidence or it's a bit of loss of direction. And we wake up one day and think, who am I again? I don't even know. And I look at it, say from a styling perspective, I look at it with women who are still doing, say, their eye makeup the way they used to 20 years ago. They're still doing the same look because they felt really good then, and they were, 20 years younger, and, skin was 20 years more taunt. And so there is that I feel a need to refine that and work with different, update that look. And so even as much as, say 20 years later, most of us have got a few smile lines and lifelines and all those kind of things. So our products need to adapt. The colours we wear need to adapt. If you're a lady that is decided to embrace grey hair, all power to you. If you choose to do that, the colours you wear need to be adapted or changed, because pigment in your skin fades. Your eyelashes, your eyebrows, and obviously your hair colour, it changes. So as you're touching yours. And so what suited you when you perhaps had when you were a brunette is obviously going to be quite different to you being your salt and pepper, moving more to salt.
Well, and when it comes to leadership, there is sometimes a different haircut, a different style that brings out your leadership authority. There is something that sometimes you think, again, you're beautiful, you're great, but sometimes a little tweak in style, and all of a sudden people go, you're a dynamite. Where did this leadership moxie come from, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I am often chatting with women, and they'll say to me, you know, I've got this in terms of credibility, the 20, 30, 25 years experience, whatever it is. You know, they're brilliant in their field, brilliant at their craft. Isn't that enough? Does the outside matter, or does it matter enough?
That's a
Yes, it
great
does.
question, though.
Yes, it does.
But
Yes,
really, the whole package does matter now, right? And
yes,
especially
it
since
does.
we are on these little cubes, and it is TV now, whether you like it or not. It's
That's
not
it.
Zoom, it's not Facebook. You are on TV,
Yeah.
and there is something about that media presence, which I coach, that intersects with what you do because you need to have the presence and the package mask, the voice, and the personality, right?
Yeah, yeah, we are. We are now. We need all those components, don't we? And it's not innate for most of us. As we were talking just before we jumped on here, you're brilliant at your craft. I'm okay at it. But if I want to be better than okay, I get help. If for public speaking, where Sandra comes in, hence us coming together, that is one of her brilliant qualities. So learn from the best. And whatever you walk away from that day, you'll be able to implement the same way that, you know, I'm an expert at what I do. I've been doing it a long time, and I give you implementable tools to walk away with immediately and own that space.
Well, and again, we've got this big event coming up in Dallas.
We do.
And here's a QR code. While we continue the discussion, hit the QR code, scan that, learn about that. There's limited space. There's only
There is.
20 seats total. There already is action. People are showing interest. People are buying seats, but it's a limited one. But part of, again, it's going to be your personal brand, your personal fashion, your personal brand story. So it's going to be, as you guys share, it's going to be very personal information, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we made a very conscious decision to not open it up to 200 people, so that we kept it intimate, and there's that interaction. You can, you know, to a degree, it's bespoke. And there's so much, from my perspective, there is so much to think about when you are there on stage. You know, we are looking at you from head to toe. And like it or not, you know, we're in this world where we shouldn't judge, but we are. We are. All of us do. I'd love to say we don't, and we're holier than thou, but we are being judged on those things. And we're being judged whether we trust you, whether you know what you look like, you know what you're talking about, separate to before you've opened your mouth.
Well, right. And is part of the fashion also partly how we connect? Because 70% of what we don't say, the nonverbal, draws people in. So as you think about this, they are reading and picking up something about you, whether you like it or not, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so if you walk in, and, you know, Sandra and I will both talk about body language, but, you know, your body language is a certain way. I wrote an article a long time ago called She Wore Beige. Now, I'm not anti-beige, but it depends whether it suits your colorings, you know, because I'm looking at skin, hair, and body shape. I'm looking at the holistic whole package here, because I want you to shine. But if you're wearing beige so that you are giving the vibes that you don't want to be seen, you know, I see this really strong at the moment of women wanting to be a bit invisible, especially midlife women.
Yeah.
And the other way I'd say is black, you know, head to toe black. You stand on stage in head to toe black.
Depending on what the backdrop is, you disappear.
That's it. Or I wore this color on purpose today. You can see me. I am owning this space today. I am the expert with color today. So that's what you're looking at. So that was very strategic. Some of these things, you know, this is what some of the things I'll be covering that day. And why.
And they're also good is, for some people that I've coached, it almost is a costume. And there's something about putting on a costume that elevates you into your superpower.
Yeah.
And is that true?
I would I would word it differently and say it's like my armor is not the right word, because armor means going in for battle, but it's putting on another like a cloak of confidence.
There you
It's a
go.
confidence cloak. And because I want you to walk on stage, whether that's in a boardroom, whatever format, with another level of confidence, because you know, look, you look the very best that you could look. And what do you think is going to happen to your confidence levels? And if you're a bit nervous, and I get all of that, but what do you think is going to happen when you walk in like that? You've got it. You've got this.
Oh yeah, you shrink back. It just impacts you in so many different ways, and that's where again, one of my stories is when I was a keynote speaker, and early on in my career, I just wore whatever shoes I wanted to, but I wanted to be comfortable because I walk, I pace, and I. But I finally got the idea if I put on these power CEO type shoes,
Yeah.
I found out my head, my heart, my body went to a different elevation by just the dumb shoes. It did make a difference. It's amazing. A simple thing like that can make a big difference.
I don't know many ladies that say dumb shoes, honestly. So our different worlds, Rich. So what my version of that would be, whenever I am speaking, even on this screen today, I'm wearing high heels. Okay. You can't see my shoes. I could take them off and show you, but I'm not going to. But the point is that for me, when I am in my spectacular, like they're not, comfort is not mentioned in this part for me. When I am in my most spectacular, special shoes, I show up differently. And I would also add here, it is the continuation of one's brand. And again, whether that's in business or you're an employee, it does not matter. You are your brand. And so own that brand.
Vivian's chiming in and supporting us, but by the way, Vivian wants to let everyone know rich shoes are never dumb.
Thank you so much. Great backup there. Shoes are special, and when I think actually it's a great reminder, and it will be one of the things I talk about. When you are on stage, we are looking at you as your entirety. That is not, like, I don't want you to be uncomfortable, but that's not the time to be wearing
Sandals, flip flops.
or pantyhose and sandals, which I saw recently. Ladies will know what that means. So it is the time to, I don't want you to feel like you're in dress ups, because you've still got to be congruent with you and your message. And that takes time. Not everyone knows that off the bat. That's where I can help you. That's my superpower. But what I would say is, we need to consider all of those elements. And if you are wearing, say with heels, if you are wearing sort of dowdy heels that shorten you on stage, that is something to consider. If your skirt length is finishing at one of the widest parts on your leg, I would make other suggestions. I'm getting into some of the practical and technical.
Well, and again, that's where we don't want to. I mean, we want to hold this back. You've already given some great nuggets tonight. This is why we're doing these as teasers to get everyone all excited about this. Again, the QR code is here. It'll be a live in-person event in Dallas, Texas, and you're flying all across the big pond in the big Texas.
I am, and I'm so grateful that the temperature's dropping this week. Thank you. Goodness.
So.
Yes, Vivian, the pantyhose and sandals. See, I didn't think I'd have to talk about things like that. I thought that would be obvious, but it's not. It's not. I've seen it here recently.
Well, that's why you're the expert, and that's why you're coming on over. And again, Jan Vanermeer, sorry about that. Again, award-winning Best international stylist
Yeah.
expert of 2023, CEO, #1 best-selling author. She's coming to Dallas. She's coming all the way over to help Sandra Day put on a one-day special event. You don't want to miss it. She's just dropped little goodies right now. She has so much more to give you, but I'm going to cut her off so she doesn't spoil it all.
I love helping women. That's really what I'm put on earth to do. Help women shine. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Jane, thanks for dropping in here tonight. Again, we had an earlier edition with Sandra D. Robinson.
Yeah.
And now we have this one. Next week, we'll have another one. The two ladies will come back together again. And we will talk about that crisis of identity and more things together next week. You'll have less of me and more of them. How's that sound? Jane, thank you very much for being here tonight. Thanks everyone else for streaming along and being here. We look forward to having you live in Dallas, Texas in just a few weeks.
Thank you so much.